the past couple of days have been very, very hard. It's been like skiing on a treadmill. We've been traveling just 7 nautical miles, so we're probably traveling more like 9. But we're drifting at least 2 nautical miles south each day. Even though there's 3 of us in this expedition, it feels as if we're 3 very much individuals. We only really come together at night in a tent to eat, to sleep. This morning we woke up inside the tent to the sound of what can be described as a steam train shunting along.
Welcome back to Philippines Uncut. I'm Buddy Conan, and tonight's topic is Conquering the North Pole with Filipina explorer, adventurer / hero, Sam Lynn Pimentel. Sam, welcome back to our second segment. So, interesting video, huh? We saw some extreme stuff there. We saw people walking in this vast, white, desolate, frozen wasteland. We saw people pitching tents. We saw ice moving. Is this how it was for you?
And more.
And more?
Yes,
Okay.
because during our time, we were on the last days of the season, so the melting of the ice is really even more. And after that, they're packing up and taking off everything so that it will melt after. So, instead of the 10-day trek that we need to do, we basically made it in 5 days.
So you had to hustle, double time.
We had to hustle.
Yeah.
We really had to hustle to make sure that we reach there.
That must have been a very physically difficult thing to do, huh? To cram 110 kilometers in 5 days. I mean, to do that walking is already hard enough.
Yeah.
But, skis with extreme weather. And I saw in the video, there are people pulling these things that look like kayaks. What are these sleds, I assume? Now, these are sleds with your gear.
They call it pulks.
Okay.
That's where you basically put your provision, your clothing, extra gears.
Pretty much
and
your life is in
equipments.
that thing.
Your life is on that thing. And if it happens that the ice opens
And it swallows it up and you lose it.
yeah, well, it's attached on you. So,
Game over.
but even if it's attached on you, since it's a freezing water, basically in a few minutes you're dead.
How heavy is that thing? Because just to give the audience perspective, 110 kilometers,
Yes.
and you're skiing. You have all this heavy gear, which we're going to talk about in a while, and you're pulling, and it's very difficult. It's so cold, and you're pulling this sled. It's heavy with full of gear. How long is this? I mean, how heavy is this thing that you're pulling?
It's about 25 to 30 kilos, and sometimes more, especially the one with the guide, because he had some extra weight. But for me, it's about 25 to 30 kilos I had to pull.
Wow.
And I have more extra because, coming from a tropical country, although they said, don't bring this, don't bring that, I basically brought most of it because just in case.
Okay.
And
Let's show the audience the stuff that helped you survive and some gear which is typical of what a North Pole explorer would need. Okay,
Right.
let's start with this big heavy thing that we have in between us.
yeah, this is the down jacket,
Yeah.
down the parka. This is actually the one. I don't use this for walking.
Okay.
I only use this when we stop because when you're walking, you basically, I sweat a lot. Doesn't matter what the weather. I just put it when, we stop for a snack and put it on and put it back on the pole. But what I'm using
For the actual. Okay.
well, this is for the pants basically.
Yeah.
That's,
What is this, Sam? It looks like overalls, like a jumper or.
It's a special suit.
Okay.
It's that has a special zip,
Yeah. How come it has all these zippers?
so that when you're going for the call of nature, it's easy to do it.
Okay. Let's talk about that. 40 degrees below.
Yes.
This is extreme cold. This is
Yes.
like the kind of cold that things freeze almost immediately. Liquid
Yes.
freezes almost immediately. How do you answer the call of nature? To go to the little girl's room, for instance.
How do you? Well, you basically answer. If the nature calls you, you
You
answer.
gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go. You do your thing. But the thing is, it will just take you like a minute, not even a minute. I mean seconds. Like you have to count. Because otherwise you won't be able to feel the skin on your body for the next 10-15 minutes.
So you have to minimize the amount of
Exposure.
exposure you have. Okay,
Yes.
how come you guys don't use adult diapers?
Well, because you don't want to have the trash in the North Pole.
Yes.
And you have to do it on the nature so that
Yes.
you don't have to throw any garbage.
I guess that's part of the policy, no? Everything you
Yes.
bring there, all your garbage,
You'll
you have
have
to
to
bring
bring
back.
back.
What about waste stuff? You also bring everything back.
Everything,
Waste, let's say waste
everything.
paper, waste,
Waste paper, waste everything. So you have to put it all in plastic, and then when you go back to Svalbard, that's where you throw it.
It's-
So if
yeah.
you
Interesting.
were asking earlier, does it get lighter as
No.
days passes?
Minimal.
Minimal. It doesn't really get
See, I
lighter.
it's probably part of the conservation effort, which is very,
Yes.
very laudable. And see, it didn't even occur to me that you bring everything back.
Yeah.
So bravo. Now let's look at the other stuff you have here. Okay, people wear this,
Yes.
and I know that people who are in the snow and the ice, they do this because of the blindness, that because of the intense,
Yeah.
white and
Yeah,
things like that.
the ice.
Yeah.
But since I'm actually claustrophobic, having to put everything on with this thing, it does scare me a bit. So
Yep.
I ended up just using my balaclava, the one from the neck, to cover, and some sunglasses.
And then of course
So
you have these woolens, like
Yeah.
you have the bonnets and,
Yeah.
and typical heavy socks.
you
and
basically use this. With me is this one or this one, and then you basically use the one that's
it's got thermal,
yeah,
some
the
thermal
insulation
there. Yeah.
And then after this, I have
How many layers are we
another
talking about?
one here.
I mean, just your head, that's already 3.
Yeah.
I mean, how
and
many
then I
layers?
have another one from the jacket.
Yeah.
So basically, for the top, it's about 5-6 layers I have.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, it's not, the people call it harsh environment and unfriendly environment. It's actually when you're geared up for the place, when you are ready for the environment, it's actually very friendly. It's very peaceful up there.
It must be very
that's
quiet,
how I
very
find it.
still. And,
Very
yeah.
still, very quiet, and even the wind is howling. During when there was storm, it felt like it felt so natural. It's not. It doesn't agitate you
Like a
or
peace,
anything.
no? Like a
a
strange kind of
certain-
calmness.
Exactly.
Mm.
I don't know why that is, but that's just how I felt when it was pushing us on with the wind and I felt like, oh, this is nice. Now it makes our life easy because it's basically making us go forward.
What was the most difficult thing about this trek of yours, this ski trek of yours? What is the most difficult thing that you? I'm sure there are times during this experience when you were you got these moments where you thought that you would just give up already, right? I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure. I mean, it's a difficult
yes.
thing. But what are the most difficult things about this trip for you?
It's basically the mental struggle of sometimes you question why are you there in the first place, and then you have to go through all this day in and day out. You get into the monotony of it, and then you say, okay, I think this is enough. On the third day, actually, the first 3 days was like the hell days, because it was really tough. But
Yeah.
after that,
When you get over
I
the
just
hump.
accepted
Yeah.
that this is it. You'll have to get to the North Pole, or there's no way that you can get out of here.
We're going to actually show some video, a short video of you, and just to show the viewers what kind of difficulties you guys encountered during this adventure. So we have a couple of videos, and we're going to air it in a while. And when it comes on, I want you to tell us exactly what are we looking at. Here we go. Okay, so you can see you have your sleds, right, or with the gear. And
Yes.
why is there water? People are going to say it's supposed to be all frozen. in the North
This
Pole.
is what you call the lead, where the ice breaks,
Yeah.
and you'll have to cross to go to the other side because North Pole is on that other side.
And
it's
there's no
moving.
bridge, there's no way around it. I mean,
There's no
it's
way
probably
around
so many kilometers in both
Yeah.
ways, no?
We have walked from one side to this point.
Is this you in
and-
the water?
No, this is our guide
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to the other side, and
Yeah.
that was an unstable ice.
Yeah.
So this is
Wow.
one of the scariest part because I said we don't want to lose the guide in the
Yeah.
middle of nowhere.
And so all of you had to do this thing across this water.
We'll have to cross with by the pulp.
Yeah.
So he will pull
And-
the rope to get to the
Okay,
other side.
tell us about this. This is a typical day of yours trekking to the North Pole, and I can
Yes.
see the wind is very intense.
Yeah.
And is this you?
This is me.
This is
Just
you.
I
Very graceful.
slid.
Very graceful.
Well, you actually cannot see.
Wow.
A step in front of you when in that situation. Maybe the camera can see better, but actually when you're the one walking on the ice, you can't see.
How much wind are we
The one
talking
in
about
front
here? I
of
mean,
you.
it looks very intense. Huh? I mean, it's
It's
howling.
about
Huh?
80 kilometers per hour
Wow,
wind.
oh my
That
gosh.
was a storm. But since there is the sun, that's one of the consolation. It's like at least there's this sun.
Now,
the whole,
Were most days like that, or there would be some days that are clear, some days that
there
are
are some
it
days
varies,
that are
huh?
clear, but there's one day that is pretty calm, and then right after the calm, there's another storm. So
Wow.
it's but when it's what strikes me most actually when I was there was that when it was not stormy, it's quite boring. And when it was stormy, in a way, I'm more focused, and I'm more in a way my senses are more
Yeah.
alive.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's these are the things that I've learned about myself being in the North Pole.
Yeah.
That my ability to focus during the storm and having to the mother instinct, I think, kicks in, that okay, I have these young people, because these are young people that
Yeah.
except for me and the guide, the three are young people. The twins are 23 years old.
Wow,
And
23.
yes, they're the youngest who climbed Mount Everest.
Amazing. And you said that they did already the 7 peaks.
The 7
these
summits.
These
And-
two 23-year-old Indians.
Yes, and they have this is their last pole to conquer. So it was really, I was happy to be part of that
So
team.
for these guys who have already done all these extreme climbs, you said this Indian twin, these twins from India, 23 years old, they've already done all the 7 major peaks that you can
Yes.
that you would want to climb,
Right.
and now this is what this North Pole trek was their finale.
Yeah.
And for you, it was your first foray
It was my
into
first.
extreme sports.
Right. And the same goes with the guy from Egypt. He's
Yeah.
a 7 summiter, and it's his last pole as
Bravo,
well.
bravo. Sam, we have pause for a break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about your lessons learned, and maybe we can give advice to people who want to do this type of thing and maybe chase their dreams, because as we've shown, by your example, you can do anything if you just put your heart and mind to it. No?
That's true.
So guys, stick around because more of Conquering North Pole with Pinay adventurer, explorer, and hero, Sam Pimentel with Philippines Uncut returns.